Okay, I'm going to show you how to map a picture onto a polygon in Maya and model an image that you have downloaded as a reference image, or you can draw an image. This technique is very often used to model characters. So I went into Google and I searched for vases. What's happening? Wait a minute. I searched for vases and goblets. Okay. And I've looked at them. Make sure the picture you select is symmetrical, which means that it has to be even on all sides. So this will work, but these, if you look at it up close, this one will work. These will probably work if you don't do the leaves, but that one won't work because it's not symmetrical. Okay, so you can look around and find something that is interesting. I already found one, so I think I'm gonna model this one. Okay, so I'm gonna model one of these. I'm going to right click on it and save image as, and I think this is a goblet, so I'm going to name it goblet. Okay. If you intend to keep this picture later for surfacing or whatever, you need to put it in the source images. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to model from it. So at this point I'm done with the internet. I'm going to open Maya. And again, remember to set your project. So I'm going to go to File, Set Project. You should be setting it to classwork. My classwork is my default project, so I'm going to click Choose. Alright, now go to your Polygon tab and you're going to make a flat plane. Now notice that this plane has lots and lots of segments which we don't need, so I'm going to go over here to the input and I'm going to type in 1 for all the segments. Hit enter. So we only have one segment. Alright, at this point I'm also going to make it a little larger. So something like this. And I'm going to also rotate it so that it faces up. And that is, make sure it's at a straight, it's rotating on x-axis. Make sure you type in 90 so that it's straight. Okay. Now, you're going to right click and you're going to hit Assign New Material. And you're simply going to choose a Lambert. Alright. You're going to go to the channel right here. And you're simply going to load that picture. So I'm going to go to File, and it's saved on my desktop. I'm going to click on this yellow folder and go to my desktop. It should be in your source images if you intend to keep it longer than modeling. So I'm going to hit Goblet and I'm going to click Open. Now if you don't see anything in here, it means that your texture is not showing. Just click on this checkerboard, checker ball, and you should be able to see it. Okay. Now this time I'm going to be modeling in the center, so I don't want this to be in my way, and I'm also going to model one of it, so I'm going to move it over. I'm going to move this so this is in the center, and I'm also going to move it up so that it's sitting on my grid, and I'm going to move it back. Okay. I'm also going to go to the channel box and I'm going to assign this to its own layer so I can lock it. So I'm just going to click this button and I'm simply going to click right here to lock it. So now I cannot select it. I'm going to go to my front view. Okay, zoom in, and before I lock it, I'm going to make it transparent. So I'm going to select this object, make sure I can see it first, and I'm going to hit this button right here to make it kind of transparent so it's not in my way, because sometimes the colors are too, it gets in my way and I don't like the way it looks. And I'm also going to make sure that this is centered because I'm only modeling one of it. Make sure that sits on the ground. So make sure this is symmetrical on both sides. Okay, something like this. Now I'm going to lock it. Alright, and you can start modeling. So you can start anywhere you like. I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to start drawing the shape. Okay. Oops, I moved something. Forgot to lock it. Let me lock this. So I should be able to move it. Okay. Alright. Now, let me zoom in like this. I'm going to go to Create, CV Curve Tool, EP Curve. I like the CV Curve better. Go to the options, make sure it's set on cubic. and you can go ahead and close it. And I'm going to start right here on the grid, so I'm going to hold down X. I'm going to click once, click one more time. Now remember, for the CB curve you need 4 points to make a curve, so I'm going to click one more time. Oops. I'm going to click one more time right here and start following the shape of the vase to go around. And if you can't see, you can always zoom in. Undo, I don't like that last point, so you can go up here, and so forth. You're going to trace around this object. Now that's a shadow, so I'm just going to go in here, right here, and I'm just rolling my little mouse, middle mouse button to zoom in, right there. Now see how you have a curve right here? Because this is a CB curve, you need to make 3 of them. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 before it follows the curve. And if you find that it's not following the curve, just undo it and make an extra point. So I think, oh no, back up. It's up right here. I was following the shadow. So this goes up here, and I need to curve this, so I'm going to make an extra point, and then I curve, an extra point and curve. Go in, need one more extra point right here, going right there, one more, curve. Now if you're holding down your mouse button, you can also move the point to shape it. This is really hard to see, so I'm just going to approximate it. It's something like this, and it looks like there's a little notch right here. So I'm going to make one more point, and then I'm going to go up and around and in. Now I can zoom out. I'm doing a shadow again, so let me undo. Right here, I'm going to go inside, right there. I should have gotten a better picture. This is a hard picture to do. Let's see, because it's so tiny and it looks like there's a shadow behind it. So I'm just going to roughly map it out this way, because I'm just going after the general shape. So I'm going to go around, go around. I think I'm going to go around this line right there. It's easier to trace. And I'm clicking and dragging my left click at the same time to position my vertex. And I mean, even so, if it's not positioned correctly, you can always go in and change it later by moving them around. So it's not really a big deal. Now notice that this is a straight line. So you don't need a lot of points for straight lines. And if you want it perfectly straight, you hold the shift key. I don't need it perfectly straight. I can just click one dot right here. I'm going to keep going up. And at this point, I can zoom out slightly. It's going to go all the way up here. Make sure I have that nice curve, maybe up to here. Another one right here. And it starts to curve out. So I'm going to follow this all the way around. Now again, at this curve, you need 1, 2 points, 3, before it makes the curve for you. Okay? And I'm just going to follow the black rim to go over here. Oops, too far away. I'm going to go right here. And then one about right there. Right here, and this is going to be an open vase, so actually I don't need all those points. I only need up to here, maybe even up to here. Alright, because this is an open mouth, so you want to make sure you're away from the center so it has an opening, because if you draw right up to here, it'll have to be a close shape. So at this point, I'm going to start coming back down. So I'm going to click one here, and just go back around to kind of trace the shape, and you're going to give it some thickness. So I'm following my points around the vase. And it doesn't have to be super accurate, because you can always move it. Go down all the way here, move it so it's nice and even. Going right here. Now, this particular vase, I want it to kind of end off right here. So if I'm putting water in it, it'll stop the water from here. So the water won't go all the way here. So what you have to do is to end your curve. So I'm going to continue following this up until it gets to around about here. Now at this point I'm just going to go all the way to the grid. Okay, so if I've done that, that means that when it revolves, it'll make a big opening here, but it'll close up to here. So if you're going to put liquid in here, it'll stop right there, and this will be a solid shape. So I'm done. I'm going to press Q, and here's my curve. At this point, if you don't like the way it is, you can reshape it, but I'm just going to go with that. But before I do, I want to make sure that these two dots are right on the center of the grid. So I'm going to right click and go to Control Vertex, select this one, shift select this one, and holding my X key and the move tool, I'm going to move it and move it back. So now it snaps. Because I'm holding X, it snaps to the grid. Okay, so I know that now it's perfectly in the center. Go back to the object mode, and now I can go to the perspective view, and with this selected, I'm going to go to Surfaces, Revolve, and there you go. Now notice that it's close at the bottom. Okay, so there you go. I made that vase. Pretty simple. Okay.